I did an experiment where I ate nothing but bland, unseasoned potatoes for 5 days straight. And here's what happened. And also here's why I would do such a thing in the first place. When you look up potato diet online, you can find loads of articles and videos about people who have used this approach of eating only potatoes as a way to lose weight. But that is not the reason I did this experiment. This experiment was inspired by something I read in the book The Wedge by Scott Carney, where he talks about the potato reset or the potato hack as a way to essentially reset two aspects of your system. The first has to do with taste and overstimulation and junk food. Basically, we live in a world where we are generally overstimulated with hyper flavorful foods at all times. And this is probably not great for us. For me, I definitely struggle with this kind of thing. I'm a compulsive eater. I tend to eat too much. I tend to eat when I'm bored. And so the idea that maybe I can reset my taste buds and reset from kind of an overly stimulation seeking mode back to normal, that was worth trying. The second benefit has to do with gut health. This is from the book. There's reason to believe that the potato hack might also be good for general gut health. After passing through the stomach, food passes through the small and large intestines and then the colon. Each stage has its own bacterial profile. In Western diets, we often have too much bacteria in the small intestine and not enough in the lower areas of the gut. The small intestine can't break down resistant starch in potatoes, but the large areas can. So flushing just potatoes through the system can help rebalance the gut microbiome. And rebalancing confers all sorts of health benefits. Now, I'd been experiencing signs of my gut health not being ideal. I would often feel kind of heavy and bloated, even when I ate healthy foods in moderate amounts. It just didn't feel quite right, like food was sitting in my stomach for too long or something. So basically, my body was telling me, hey, something's going on here. And it seemed like the potato reset would be worth a try to see if it would help. So this is why I set out on the most boring food-related experiment I've ever done, and here's how it went. To clarify, the rules are you eat only bland, boiled, unseasoned potatoes. No salt, no oil, no nothing that would make this any more interesting. And then you can have as many of these potato meals as you want, and you can eat as much as you want, as long as you just eat nothing else. I also drank only water and not even tea or anything else, because I really wanted to have that kind of overstimulation reset effect as much as possible. Day one was pretty uneventful, and it was also easy because at this point just eating bland potatoes was still new. On day two, that novelty wears off pretty quickly. It's about noon. I haven't eaten since yesterday at about 6. And what I really didn't expect is that I just don't feel very hungry. So I only had a handful of potatoes yesterday all day. And today I feel a lot less hungry than I thought I would. It's really unexpected. I thought that I would kind of be desperately eating lots and lots of potatoes. I was only eating 2 to 3 of these small bowls of potatoes for a whole day. And in terms of food volume, that is much, much less than I would usually eat. So I was surprised that I didn't eat more, but I really did eat my fill. I ate as much as I wanted to until I felt full. It's day 3 and I'm having a bit of coffee, which maybe that's cheating. It's just a plain black coffee, no sugar, nothing else going on. So it's definitely the most flavorful thing I've had in a long time. But the reason I wanted to get a coffee is just I felt very, very low energy today. And I do want to get some work done, so I'm hoping this helps. The coffee did help me get started into my day a bit better, although maybe it was a placebo effect, or maybe I was just kind of desperate for some kind of taste at that point. But anyway, I consider that not too bad of a cheat day, just having the one coffee in the morning. On day 3, the way I was feeling was strangely reminiscent of times when I've done longer term fasts, so eating nothing at all. You feel kind of hungry, but not very hungry. And there's also a certain feeling of emptiness. The other way in which it felt like a fast is that I had this low energy feeling and I was feeling quite cold, even though it was warm outside. which is this feeling that I often also get from fasting where it feels like my body's just running out of energy. Except in this case, I can't eat, and then I eat potatoes, as many as I can essentially, but somehow it doesn't help. It's really quite a strange feeling. It's evening, day 3. I'm cooking some more potatoes yet again, and this is the first time where I feel like, I have to eat. I don't want to eat. Like, it's just not interesting enough. And this is very rare for me. Usually I can't wait to have my next meal, right? I love eating, but because all I can have is potatoes, and yeah, they're kind of good, but I'm really fed up with them now. So that's an interesting development, to say the least. And then days 4 and 5 were uneventful, which is to say they were painfully uneventful. I got really, really fed up with having only bland potatoes every day, and I couldn't wait to eat normal food again. Something I started noticing very clearly was that I would have several times during the day, I would have the impulse to go get up and go to the kitchen. But that impulse would be interrupted because I'd realize, there's nothing stimulating in the kitchen, right? There's no entertaining food to be had. And so I became much more aware of those moments when maybe I'm just bored or seeking distraction or something, and my impulse is to go eat to get some of that stimulation, to pass some time eating. So in this way, this experiment increased my awareness of this specific aspect of my behavior, and that was interesting to experience. So that's my final potato-only meal, and tomorrow I'll be having normal food again. I'll be eating like a normal human being again, and I can't wait. I was really glad when this experiment was over. I was really looking forward to that first meal after 5 days of bland potatoes. For my first normal meal, I'm having potatoes, which I know might seem weird, but hear me out. I'm going to fry these potatoes with a bit of oil and season them with just a bit of salt and black pepper. And I'm also having some carrots with this, and I really just want to see, instead of going full on for the sensory overload burrito orgy, I want to see how my appreciation for just simple foods but with seasoning has changed with this experiment. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. It's like a night and day difference. It's actually incredible how much of a difference I think especially salt makes. I've gotten totally fed up with eating bland potatoes, but this, just with a bit of salt and oil, immediately feels like something I could eat all day again. It's really incredible. Also, the sweetness of the carrots is really nice to just have a different taste. But the potatoes are actually kind of blowing my mind. Like, the difference is incredible. It makes me think that having potatoes like this every day wouldn't actually be much of a challenge. Right now is about 1 week after the end of this experiment, and here are my conclusions. Did it reset your overstimulated taste buds? Yes, I definitely noticed this. It was amazing to feel just the difference even just a bit of salt and oil makes to food, and just to feel the richness of flavors and taste. That was very, very noticeable. And I also noticed that I just had less of an impulse to compulsively eat and to overeat. So yes, this reset absolutely worked for me. Did it reset your gut and digestion? Yes, this is the clearest benefit that I can feel from before and after. Ever since I've done this potato reset, I have had none of those weird bloated feelings anymore. Basically, it feels like my digestion really did get a break or a reset or something, and things are back to normal. So I'm really happy with that. Did the effects last? No and yes. The stimulation reset didn't last. After a few days, I was basically back to eating the way I was eating before. And as it always is, at first it's like, oh my God, salt is the best thing ever, but then you take it for granted very quickly. So that effect didn't last. But the gut reset, that has lasted until now. Did you lose weight? Yes, I did lose weight, although I didn't step on a scale before or after, but it was clear just from looking in the mirror that I leaned out, really more than I expected in just 5 days. Would you recommend this for weight loss? No, not at all. Don't get me wrong, I think anyone would lose weight on the potato diet. I don't think that it's humanly possible to like potatoes so much that you would eat a caloric excess of them. And I'm saying that as someone from Irish descent. But while you're definitely going to lose weight if you eat only potatoes for a while, this is the same thing as doing a crash diet of any kind. You're going to lose weight, then you're going to go back to eating how you ate before, and then you're going to gain it all back. So if weight loss is what you want, I think only long-term lifestyle changes will get you there. Do you recommend the potato reset? Yes, I absolutely recommend this. In fact, I would recommend this even just for the experience. I think that this is something that's just not good for us, is the fact that, we're always in this kind of narrow band where we're never too hot, we're never too cold, we're never hungry, we never work too hard, we never relax fully, right? It's like we're always in this middle band of comfort. It's kind of the perfect definition of comfort zone. And I think that's not good for us. And so even just for the experience of seeing what it's like to eat extremely boring, unstimulating food for several days and then come back to appreciating flavorful food, that alone is 100% worth it. Plus, it might even be healthy, and it definitely seems to have had a positive effect on my gut health. So yes, I would absolutely recommend this. Besides anything else, it's fun to be experimenting and trying new things for yourself. And hey, eating potatoes, right? Anyone can do this. So go ahead, give it a try. So let me know, are you going to try this out? Let me know by leaving a comment below. And also, if there are any weird and interesting experiments that you'd like to see me or the Icario team do, I'd love to hear your suggestions. So head down below and leave a comment.